I won't say anything too soon, but I think we're fixed. I need to restart the stream. My bitrate is shit now, though. Is it going to stabilize? It's stabilized. Fixed. I want you to work, VoiceBot. These are the droids I'm looking for. Come on. Come on, VoiceBot. I believe in you, VoiceBot. Okay, VoiceBot's not fixed. Is there a way I could make sure that the profile... I do! I do. I needed to retitle and restream and restart it. So I'm thinking maybe when Restream tries to split the streams, sometimes it goes wonky. That's I don't know what else could be doing it. But there you go. Restarted it, renamed, and here I am. I exist. It's weird. The other droids, though, are still on strike. Bezos said, he did enough effort. I guess I'll throw him a bone. But the band does not feel like helping me. Not today. I don't know why it's doing that. Is there a way I can just download profile? I mean, I copied it, but can I, like... Export. There you go. Export that sucker right here. Maybe that's what happened. Export this one, too. Okay. Now that it exists, apply it. Nope. They're still on strike. They're still on strike. VoiceBot don't exist. The band's gone. But this is working. There are infinite me's. So that's good. Need more of me. Alright. Let's get the show on the road finally. I'm keeping the other one up just because YouTube, it's bonus content and call behind the scenes chicanery. Is that the proper use of that word? I don't care. It's a great word. Chicanery. I haven't used that word in a long time. I was going to use shenanigans, but I was like, nah, let's use chicanery. And I did. I think that's how you spell it. Probably not how you spell it. Yeah, that'll work. It's close to shenanigans. Chicanery. Well, yeah, I can work with that. My bits, though, are still a little nasty, but they're not going as bad as they can. Yeah, I think it's Restream. Because I was getting full green. Like, no problems. When it was just going to YouTube. But now that I've restarted the stream... and it's going to 2 places, now my KBS is fluctuating like crazy. Like crazy. It's probably Restream. So I'm watching numbers fluctuate and I'm not even getting out of the red anymore. I'm no longer downloading anything, right? It's just now. Yeah, it's just now it's being an ass. Did that work? No, it still just refuses to load profile. What is this? Exit. No, VoiceBot is... I gotta give up on VoiceBot. I don't know how I'm gonna win that one. Apparently that was fixed back in January, and yet here I am dealing with it brand new right now. Which, it doesn't make any sense. Sync profiles? Need to upgrade a pro license. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's my guess. But now it's green. I don't know. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just like, it's a problem because I can barely stream already, and so scheduling separate streams for like that goes from trying to do one stream a week to cover multiple channels to multiple streams a week to cover multiple channels, which theoretically I could cater the Twitch streams more towards, you know, Twitch's audience, which is primarily gaming, which I would, you know, like. And I could channel, you know, the YouTube audience, which is a lot of comic fans and comic stuff towards that, which, again, that's smarter, but it's adding to a workload I can't keep up with. And Restream allows me to do that. The other option is I stream exclusively to Twitch, and then I download the VODs and then put that on YouTube, but most of my actual viewers, people who show up to watch streams, are on YouTube. I am in a very low win scenario. I don't see a way around it without using Restream, which is or finding more time to actually want to and be able to stream. I guess that would be the other one, and that would be great. Not there yet. That's odd, man. It's odd. I don't know. As long as this is watchable quality right now, I'm happy enough. Let me close that. I think that should help. It didn't really help. Didn't make it worse, though. Ah, it's confusing. That is confusing. Alright. I want to say skip track, but I actually have to click on it. Damn band! I gotta play all the instruments now. Let's go with this. I don't know what this track is, but it's just off-putting enough it'll work. Who's this? Okay, that's cool. Okay, what about this? Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries yet. Alright, all this troubleshooting just made me forget, like, what I was even supposed to be streaming about today. So there's a couple things. There's something I kind of want to check out, but yeah, let's start there, I guess, because it's the thing I know the least about. But kind of bugs me. We'll start there, see if that gets me a flow, and then we'll get to cool stuff, like happy stuff. This is less happy. This is kind of like what happened here. I have no idea. I just know what has happened in terms of like what this result is. Updates. I guess it's just on Halloween, or like he just went in there. There it is. Okay. Oh, weird. That. Oh, it's for... Ha! I can't. Well, I have something to say about that too, then. Okay. Huh. So, a lot of creators I really liked were part of this. Well, I really like, period. Honestly, none of them really did anything wrong. As far as I'm aware, and I wanted more information, but I didn't know this was a feature. That bothers me a little bit. Yeah. The difference between this one and this one, that's based on titles, right? That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't have a copy in which I can read this, which is annoying. I can't read the backer quotes. I can't read that, right? And you can tell the difference between interaction here. It's like, oh, that's cool. We're waiting for that, blah, blah, blah. And then a couple likes, right? And then you get this, and it's like a lot of people have something to say. But I can't tell you why. And I really wanted to know what happened. But I'm stuck with the hearsay. As far as I'm aware, this is not delivering. And that's all I can say. And that really bothers me. Because, again, if you're doing an anthology, many creators are counting on you to deliver that book. Let alone the 600 backers that pledged $22,000.
Said, what S in the overall comments?
Oh, thank you. Good call. Good call, Elizabar. Here we go. If you cannot afford to publish a book, then how can you promise a refund? Yeah, I had heard that as well. Where's the money that was raised? You estimate about $9,000 out of pocket to ship now, so $30,000 to ship this. What? Your campaign was $22,000. You haven't paid all the people. Oh my God. Okay. I will, as probably some others, be reporting this campaign. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Eliza Barr said, Tyler backed this though, right? He said the guy didn't make enough money, and this guy has done this several times.
Yeah, but none of the others were successful. Oh, I wanted the exact thread, so let me use the internet properly. And this is a Western too, so I was paying attention to this. Okay. Cool. Good on you, Jared. He's like, fine, I just want my work out there. Micah has me blocked. He's a letterer. I don't know why he has me blocked. Probably the guilt by association blockchain stuff.
Eliza
Who did and did get paid.
Said, for $20,000 I could make a comic book and ship it.
For $20,000 I could make... Alright, fuck it, I'm here. Let's talk about this. So obviously some of the anthology's creators were paid, some were not. This team was. But he's like, fuck it, I'm putting this out anyway because we have no ETA on release and this creative team. That's my thing with anthologies. If you're bringing in a bunch of creators, you better fucking know what you're doing because they are all relying as you, as the creative head, as the project manager, to deliver. Whoa, it's frustrating. And this right here. That right there. How's he offering refunds if the book can't exist? It's very weird. For $20,000, right? So I made $15,000. Now, how big was this book? That kind of information I can get. That kind of info I should be able to glean from the campaign. Unless you're like, oh God, what's his name? I'm gonna blank it because of the caffeine. I don't even. It's fine. But there was a professional who I really respect who's running his campaign, did not put the page counts on the campaign, so I directly asked about him, and then he was nice enough to answer, but it was a little iffy that he didn't put it on there. 120 plus. So it's a big book. It's a big book. Depending on what you're paying your creative teams. Yeah, that's an endeavor. So I could not release a 120-page anthology or otherwise for $20,000. I couldn't do it. Tell you right now, I couldn't do it. But I've seen so many creatives work for so cheap that I rarely like... does this have lyrics? No. Okay, we'll go with this. Sorry. I couldn't do it. I would need 120 pages. I would need $35,000 with my creative team.
Eliza Barr said,
$45,000.
anthology work doesn't pay for creators that like, oh yeah, here $30 a page territory.
Exactly, that's the thing with anthologies as well, is usually creators are getting fucked. I have a lot of problems with anthologies. Many different problems. In fact, that's what I commented on Tyler's post is, there's a lot of problems with anthologies. Usually this isn't one of them. Usually with anthologies, there's creative differences, you're working with so many cooks in the kitchen that's usually where the problems come from. Not the project manager not having his numbers correctly, funding a outrageously high goal for most indie comic creators, and then not being able to deliver with that because their logistics were not in order. At least that's my best guess. Again, I was hoping I could go look in there and be like, oh, okay, that's why. At least you provided like what's going on. But again, where did I see that? Maybe it wasn't here. Maybe it was here. I'm glad. There was a good call in the comments the last bar. I wouldn't have even thought about that. My brain's so scattered. That's the one. Yeah. 10K that is unaccounted for. $10,000. Half of the budget that is not being talked about. Again, he left me none by hearsay by making that a backer-only comment, right? Like, oh, hey, somebody went and broke up the math. Ouch. Is that also same guy? Same guy. Yep. Brent says the taxes are $4,500, but are being covered out of pocket. And for new ship at 5 to 6.
You can do a lot with 10K.
Yeah.
Eliza Barr said. SCAM. Eliza Barr said. Gonna go to Mexico and get a new identity.
If he only ran off with 10K, that ain't enough to survive in Mexico. I mean, in New Mexico, if you're not paying fucking housing, sure. Slightly more than the amount raised, but that's because the percentages in the pie chart are actually total 101%. So the taxes are more than double the estimate, but again, Brett's covering those out of pocket, so he doesn't need to remove those. Combined, the estimated printing and shipping are $6,500. I'm not sure why he's now calling that cost insane. It's what he budgeted for. Okay, so that's bad. My guess is this project took forever to take, okay. Hearsay, not even hearsay, this is speculation. Absolute speculation on my point. Because I have held on to campaign funds for a very long time. Most of our campaigns take a long time to come together. When you're working with this many creatives, perhaps even longer. And that's a long time to have money in your bank account. That, how would I phrase this? Let me see, when did this fund? Can you find out when a project funds? Right here, I think. May last year. Thanks to this little plug-in here. That's when they funded. Or at least the funding they hit last, and then he didn't market it because it did not really move, and it had no point to put anything else down there. Oh wait, no, it's Kickstarter, what I'm talking about. That makes sense. So yeah, May 13th was the funding date. I couldn't find it elsewise, but at least it's there. So a year and a quarter. That's quite a long time to have a good chunk of money in your bank account. That perhaps creatives aren't moving quick enough to pay them out. And perhaps you are tempted here and there to, oh, well, I'll cover this back later with the funds in the bank account that aren't really yours. Again, making this thing non-public, I can't even read his statement on it. But having held on to these funds before, that temptation is absolutely there. Absolutely. No question. And that's my guess what happened. If I had to speculate, that's 100% what happened. And then he got to like a point where things needed to happen. And he's looking at the money and he's like, oh, I don't have it anymore. And since it's becoming a year and a half, instead of saying, oh, we're going to be late, or just saying we're going to be late and here's the steps I'm taking, and then just buying more time for, you know, covering his ass. He's looking at the amount that is not there, and he's like, oh, I can't do it.
Scott K. said, my question is, how can you screw up multiple times and still get this kind of funding?
We go right here, Scott. I've known this creator for a while. He's always been kind of off to me. Before this project in particular, so for me, off-putting. There's red flags everywhere. But mainly because there's like no swagger, no confidence in the work that he was doing, even when it does this fucking amazing, right? Like there's no... Like, even a lot of creators I really dislike, they still have a swagger, a brand, a feeling, an energy that is tied up into their work that they can use to boost and give it, I'm going to call it power, right? In this case, I guess he's networked with a lot of people well enough, for long enough, that he got quite a few great collaborators. Very good collaborators. Again, that Michael fellow that's got me blocked, who's a letterer, he's on so many books that do very well. Mr. Lujan, who was the artist that we kind of looked at his Twitter post, he's also been on many, many books in the indie sphere on one particular side of the aisle. But yeah, it's the anthology bit. He had, I don't know how many collaborators. Let's see. See how many people he let down in terms of just the team.
Eliza Barr said, 99 of the backers never looked at his previous projects. Scott K.
Oh, well, that's also there, right? 99%. Why did she read percent? Oh, because I have her not reading symbols, because that would be every emoji. Okay. But yeah, 99%. This one actually in particular kind of bothers me because I am a huge Paul Sheik fan. He did our wonderful, beautiful, he did the inks on our tracker pinup from that first campaign. He's always been very kind to me. He's a very cool collaborator. The work I always see of his is beautiful, well done. And I think he got screwed. That always bothers me. Do you list the creative teams? Okay, that's illegal. Well, it's right. I mean, to be fair, the Comic-Con scene, selling prints that you do, but that one's pushing it. Oh, this is why. This is why. So if you want to know how many creators are being let down by this, I mean, some of them got paid from what I heard, so great. Good for them. It's just part of this beautiful work is then also getting your work out to the world. That's like, for me, that's 90% of it, because I don't tend to make money off of these things. In fact, I lose money every time I do it. So it's almost 100% of why I do it. So as a creator, like, my work not going out would be devastating whether I got paid or not. But this is also why, Scott. Imagine having this many people.
Bro, a whole bunch of comic stuff that people do is straight up illegal.
It's very true, Lizbar. You're right. You're right. But look at this. This is the list of collaborators.
Said. Long list of people to get screwed over.
That's the bit. That's the bit right there. Let's see. I know this individual. He's been kind to my work. I know this individual. I know. Let me see. This is just off of names that I remember. I probably would remember profile pictures on many of them. I know her. I know her. She's got a very cool looking book. I know them. I know him because I always come across him. He blocks me. He has me blocked, right? I know that individual. Those are the only ones that I recognize by name. That's still, what, 4, 5? Folks that are just like, I'm aware of their work. Just from the name alone. But this is how you make that kind of money. And now, I don't know how he thought 20K would pay this many people, especially with this whole more to be announced thing. So it's not even the complete list of people. I don't like doing this stuff. I don't. Like, this is heartbreaking. I guess that's the best I can say about it. It's just heartbreaking. This is literally a list of people that got screwed over, as you said, and that is heartbreaking because it is a massive list. I could say, like, I've worked in anthologies before, believe it or not, folks. I don't know if people remember the publisher Ashcan Comics Pope, but he did flash fiction. He did, I think, a year of flash fiction, and I think it was one every 6 months. I don't think I have them behind me anymore, but we that was all unpaid work. And he still got every one of those out, and he stopped when he couldn't do it because it wasn't taking off like he had hoped. Okay, fine. Let me show you folks. I kind of condensed it into words. My heartbreak here. That's all right. That's all right. I really try to keep my ear to the ground on all kinds of projects, and most of those people on that list will not acknowledge my existence, but I still support their work because it looks good. Like, I don't. It's part of my modus operandi is that I just want good work shown. So that's why I know a lot of these people, even though, like, I am probably extremely problematic because of where I sit in the center of aisles. But so I can see how a lot of people, particularly that follow me directly, will not be aware of these creators. But I very much am, and a lot of them I really respect and like their work, whether or not, again, they will acknowledge my existence or my support. Let me go down though, because yeah, it's kind of. I think I did. I tried to sum it up as concisely as possible. Yeah, here we go. Do I have different? No, the song just changed. Okay. It was just weird timing with the song change there.
Okay. Said. How do you feel about clean or virgin covers? Eliza Barr said. You don't need them to notice me. You are surrounded by the transcendent glow of Eliza Barr's. Notice a halo of excellence from which none may hide.
This is true. This is very true. Okay, so this was basically how I summed this, because it seems to be the problem. Honestly, the number one problem I feel with this, and it can be summed up in that single word, this individual who ran this project and created it had an incredible lack of respect for every single step of the process. That's what it seems to me. From gathering all these creators together, for making sure that they can get paid. Again, target prioritization. So what I mean there is make sure that you know what you need to accomplish in the orders you need to accomplish them. You call it triage, call it whatever the fuck you need. You need to have a mission plan. And you need to understand what you can do within that mission. And if you want to shoot a little bit above your abilities, great. I've done that every time. A little bit above your capabilities. Stretch, not fucking hop over a cliff. And say, oh, I can fly after jumping over this cliff. It's going to be fine. And you never even jumped before, right? And this is part of it, right? Make sure you got your logistics in order. You know what you need to accomplish. And you know your line of how it's going to happen. And me, I rarely jump in with 100% accurate data. And I recommend you do. You try to get 99.9% accurate data before you can do this if you'd like. You hedge your bets. I'm really bad at that. But I'm not bad at this. I make sure there are plan Bs and Cs to get this thing done, even if it takes more time. Not a vague promise of refunding and delivering. Like, I would not do that. I would have to do just refunds. Like, that's the only way it would be doable. You got to pick one or the other. And this is what confuses the fuck out of me. This is what's weird to me. Right? Okay, let's go to here, and I can't read why. It fucking blows my mind. It was at the printers. The project is done. Some creators haven't been paid. It's at the printers. You do not put the fucking file to the printers before all the creatives have been paid. If this update was going to happen, it should have been before this. And it says a lot that he went with backer-only posts once this happened. Like, oh, everything's still going good. Oh, I got the numbers back. I can't do it.
Eliza Barr.
My guess is I spent too much of the money I shouldn't have spent.
This whole situation is really harsh, man. Kappa.
I don't like doing this. I don't like seeing this shit. Like, it's awful. I've never raised this amount of money for my work. But I've also never disrespected this many people with my work. I've never delivered on time. I'm not, like, proud of that whatsoever. I am proud that we have never not delivered. You do not fund... Crowdfunding is a gentleman's agreement. It is a person-to-person agreement that I will find a way to get this done with your help. The other individual, the backer, is saying, okay, I will help you get this done. Unless you go in maliciously, there is no reason you should not be prepared when you go in. Unless your ego is fucking through the roof, or you're just intelligent enough to put one of these things together, but not intelligent enough to understand the responsibility? Like,
Scott K. said, once you fund, failure is not an option.
Exactly. It's either in time or else. Like, even, so, I gave Carl Roast a lot of shit with this last update because he was fucking silent for almost a full year. And then he shows up, oh, well, everything's about ready to go. He showed up, everything's about ready to go. Right? Like, I gave him a lot of shit for that. But, right? And it was just him. He's the only people he's failing is the folks who are willing to make a gentleman's agreement with him. Right? This is... Again, I've got to go back to this because this is just abhorrent. The fact that it's on the campaign page is just schadenfreude as far as it can go for me. Like, it's literally a list of the people that he has failed who wanted this project to deliver. It's fucking awful. Like, the levels of irony and coincidence that is just black and heartbreaking to this circumstance is... Like, so, a lot of the people, including myself, who do have a swagger, who have an ego to their work, that comes with needing to defend that, right? Myself, like, my work is very important to me. So I make sure I'm working with folks who can do the job, or I get rid of them as soon as possible, right? Or we find a replacement who feels correct. And I've been blessed that that has never been a big issue with our work. we've always been able to step towards somebody else. And in fact, most of our time we've been able to keep this creative team together. It's been wonderful. Small circle, simple life, better results. Big circle, a lot more work, and you have to be so much more prepared. But I'm just going to keep leaving this up right here. Like, we can go for, you can leave a list of backers up as well. And that's the amount of people that have been failed here. A small army. Was it half a battalion of people? I've never had half a battalion of folks rally behind me. And I am so grateful for it, because I would probably made similar mistakes in terms of, like, there's just so much, right? And then you miss budget. There's no way I could deliver a Jack issue, which is 32 pages, at the page rates that I pay folks, to 600 people at 20K. I couldn't do it. I think right now, at the end of Jack 4, I'm probably going to have had about 17.5 spent. And we made 14, almost 15. We're only about $100 from 15. 15K. And I understood that when I'm getting in there. I was looking at numbers and I was like, okay, this is what I can reasonably earn. This is what I can use to cover it. This is what can get the job done. And so I put all that together, and even through joblessness and a few other things, I've kept that together. I'm very lucky, though, right? Like, I was able to survive on about $440 a month for those 2 months that I was out of work. And I had more than that coming in because of extra jobs every day, right? The pet sitting gig, trying different things. I was very lucky. And even then I had emergency fees that came up. And I had to run a GoFundMe to take some things down, right? Like
This is like the Fire Festival of indie comics.
Well, Fire Festival still happened, brother. Fire Festival still happened. It wasn't good. It wasn't what they said it was. But it happened. This, like, did he deliver the digitals? Let's look. Because there was an update about digital. Was it delivered? I wouldn't deliver until they are ready to print. Oh no, don't tell me. Don't you tell me.
Scott K.
Oh no.
Said.
Don't you tell me. Oh, don't you tell me. No, brother, no. No. I didn't back this campaign, man. Oh, no, man. Oh, my heart. Lack of respect. I should not have access to this. Hey, if you folks want to read Out Into the Sunset, even though it's not delivering, and even though some of the creators weren't paid,
I'm here.
Here's the link.
Scott K.
Oh, no, man.
Fire Festival.
Oh, man. This guy's got the digital link to this book on the updates out to everybody. Everybody. Publicly. I can go get this book for free off of Kickstarter now. Like, with everything that's up, but this one blows my mind. Holy shit. Let me see. You know what? Let's go a whole nother level. Let's nitpick this fucker. I'm very curious. How big is this fucker? Fucking A.
Eliza Bar.
Is it like 300 megabytes?
LOL Vanina and Ariel IGG method.
I at least want to see if the person we had compile this thing knew what they were doing. 48 megabytes. Okay, no, it's fine. It wasn't a print level quality. Thank goodness. Still not compressed as much as it could be, but 50 meg, that's fine for 120 pages. That's good compression. So who is working about with knew what they were doing for the print copy or the digital copy, which is this even pirated? Right, if I got it, would it even be considered pirated? Because he like released it free.
Says, disappointed but relieved face Cody control rage. Nami is listening in the next room in Alita.
Alita's outside. Nami, she might be listening in the next room.
$.
I'm not angry, man. This is just heartbreaking.
Remember the little ones.
This is just sad. So, anybody catching up, this campaign's not delivering. He ended up hiding the updates, so I can't read his side, but you can go to the comments if you didn't back. And we can get the gist of it, right? We even went a little bit further with this wonderful person who linked some things.
Eliza Bar said, I am thinking I might review this thing LOL.
I bet creatively it might be okay.
I love some cringe and drama.
This is super cringe. This is like, again, like I've had problems with creators and such, but this one, like, fucking A, I've never seen so many people in the train get crashed. Digitally over-delivering. Physically never delivering would be my guess. If he's offering refunds and he's still going to deliver. Yeah, fucking right. If you have that kind of money, this wouldn't have been a problem. I'm sorry, that's just... I don't. I never do. So it's like, again, like these last 2 crowdfunds that I've run are significantly more than I make in a year, I've ever made in a year in my life. And like, I'm not like proud to say that, but I understand the value of this money, right? And I understand my promise to my collaborators and to the folks who want to read my work. And I understand my promise to the backers who allow the work to happen, because again, this is more money than I can make in a year most of my life. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Eliza Bar said, I don't remember if you're up to speed on the train wreck that is Cadence Lark is Furious One. It's on this level of horror, just with fewer people suffering.
No, I don't know that one. I don't know that, and that sounds awful. Like, I just need the one. Like, this is more than enough to like... When I feel like I'm not doing that well, which is quite often with the quality I believe our work's at, and with the amount of people it reaches, and with how these campaigns have come together in terms of like final day, just immense effort from our very staunch supporters allowing the thing to happen. Like, I feel terrible about that. I think we should be doing better, and I feel a lot of that is on me, and I don't, like, there's certain points like, yeah, I could possibly do that better, but would it make that much of a difference? I don't know unless I try, but I still, like, over these last couple years in particular, yeah, I wouldn't know. And like, this is more than enough for me to remember that, like, again, what I was getting to is that, like, I'm not doing so bad. Like, fucking A, I'm not doing so bad at all. It's heartbreaking. The whole thing, again, you can look at the list of collaborators that got fucked. That their work won't be shown, and some of them didn't even get paid. and yet the book was at the printers, and I can get a free digital copy off of the Kickstarter updates. It's why you don't use Google Drive to deliver that stuff, because unless you delete the file after a certain amount of time, it is up forever. Or I guess you could private it, either one. Like, just do one of those things. I use Dropbox because you can either private it or set it for a time limit to turn off. And I personally have done neither. But I also... Yeah. Okay. I'll let you guys talk. I've already almost gotten an hour out of it, and my heart, man, like, just... It's again why I don't like crossovers, and that's one other creative team. An anthology is an immense effort, and I've only dipped my toes in because I wanted to try a creative experience, and what was being asked of us as creators and collaborators wasn't much. And we all kind of, yeah, we'd love to see our work in print. And the person we worked with respected that entire process. He always delivered. Until it was like, it's not taking off like I like. It's not going to be able to fund itself. I've got to take a break. Sorry, folks. But he finished all the work that needed to be done, right? Like, then he stopped. He put out about 4 or 5 of them. I was a participant in 2 of them, I believe. Almost three, because there was another piece that I wrote a short story to that he did that never became part of it. But, like, I still have the story and the piece to show off as part of a portfolio, right? Like, that's... But anyway, he never asked, we knew what we were getting into. Right? I noticed that too. That's kind of funny to me. I don't know why he did. I don't know. Much as I keep my ear to the ground, I usually only hear things that pertain to me or pertain to things I'm enjoying. I don't tend to hear anything like sideways from other folks. Like, I know there's something going on because there's some very vague, like, talking down to people that's happening between at least Draw and Talk and Rags. I don't know what that is. I understand how people get into this drama. I don't quite understand how I don't, but I am so happy I don't. Like, it's just not something I find in any way fulfilling. And for some reason, I hear these other individuals who find themselves in this drama again and again. They don't find it fulfilling, but yet... I don't know, they accept it and then take part in it. I guess the best way for me to say. Like, I've been hit once with really bad. I don't know, man. Thanks, sexfine.xyz. Thanks for looking out. Fucking AI rebellion, man. Let's see who's faster. Thank you, Scott. Much appreciated. I gotta go over to Twitch and do it now, too. Oh, but then it's gonna erase all the restream messages. I gotta nuke everyone's messages to get that to go away. I mean, I think you've tried, Eliza Barr, and I just don't understand it to a point that it just doesn't work. You've tried a couple times. I have no taste for it. Like, legitimately, as you've seen, like, my brain don't function on it. Forgot how you mod. Yep, because of our rigid deadlines, Dolacoin. Sex find? This is true. Like, if you don't deliver in time, which I'm sure we have such a rigid timeline that I'm just like, we gotta get it done by then. Yeah, that's somewhere in there, I'm sure. How do I had to ask this last time too. I'm not a Twitch streamer. I don't even remember how, like, I mute a user. Do I click on them and then I can whisper? Timeout. That was it. Timeout. Okay, there you go. It deleted all of the other messages, so that's great for replays on Twitch, but I doubt anybody watches replays on Twitch. But fine, that nuked it. Damn, I was just a little ahead. Because, yeah, there's 3 single messages. I will research this. It's pretty straightforward. Enable mod icons. Okay. Alright, thank you, Lesbar. I will do that either during the stream or after this stream. Much appreciated. Instead of having to time out the user and just nuke all their messages. Because RestreamBot is considered the user, not sexfind.xyz, right? Okay, I appreciate that, because that's super helpful. Because most of the time, the robot's just doing its job, man. I want to make sure YouTube and Twitch can communicate. But yeah, I guess I've said everything I can about this. It's just heartbreaking.
I need to set that up for my own channel. Didn't he know it was a thing?
Yeah, no, I had no idea. It should be a thing, so it makes sense it's a thing. We have deadlines? Well, Scott, you and I actually have a loose one, don't we? Something February or March. That's the loose deadline, right? That's the one that we have. A loose one, of course. But yeah. And technically it's my deadline for you. or I guess it's a deadline I have to you, right? Not from you. So you don't have to have anything ready. I have to have things ready by then, right? Like, rough, but yeah. So there's a deadline, kinda. Even when I have deadlines with this creative team, like, again, if we were working corporately and we have these rigid bits that need to be done by this certain time for the entire machine to function, yeah, it's a different thing. And I would like to be able to work under that, but we haven't been able to so far.
True kid.
Yep. But yeah, anyway, I think I've said enough about this. I didn't know it was a thing. I watched this campaign. I bet I even shared it because there were collaborators I knew under it. I was happy for its success when it funded. I was happy to see the amount it funded. This one. Oh boy.
Said Cody PLS, don't tan my hide.
Don't worry unless you tan Steve's hide for those colors.
Said.
Then I'll hold you to that standard. Dear God, that's amazing. That's amazing, Eliza Bar.
Said.
Okay, let me see what you set up.
If you reload your Twitch chat, you should see the icons.
Okay. Thank you. Muchas gracias, amigo. So you're a moderator. There's RestreamBot. Okay. So, how to delete? Enable the mod icons. Okay. Deleting the message. Mod icons, you will instantly, with a single click, locate it. Delete message. Locate it. Oh, there we go. There's one that was hidden. Oh, it's my website link. That's funny. Mod view. That's it. That's probably what I need. Where's chat? There's chat. Locate it. Click on him. That's supposed to be a single click.
Said. I didn't see the icons on your screen. They should be next to RestreamBot. I guess this isn't a global setting.
Interesting. Well, you've got it for me, which I appreciate.
Eliza Bar. Said.
Oh.
The icons should show up right next to the chatter's name.
All right, well, we're doing this now. And plus, I need to segue off into the sunset, which he certainly ran off in the sunset, didn't he? Yeah. This tanked his career, and that really sucks. Like, even if somehow he was able to offer refunds and ship this book, that massive list of creators ain't gonna want to be anywhere near him, right? Like, and that was his circle. Those were the people he was able to get together to perform this magic trick, and he fucking destroyed the magic behind it. Okay, let's do this together, folks. Let's do this together. Okay, so scroll to the mod tools. Switch to mod setting. Okay, I'm already in the wrong place, aren't I? Settings, left side of the chat box. Okay, let's get on a mod view, I guess. That's the right side. Chat settings? Okay. Mod tools. Switch to non-mod. Okay, I'm already on mod settings. Show mod icons. Show mod icons. Yeah. All right, so there you go. Okay, then I exit it. And there they are. I have seen these before. I feel like they hit these at an update at some point, because I remember seeing these before. Well, shit. Cool. Set up. Let's delete oh, can I? No, but we'll delete it since it's not showing. Excellent. There you go. I'm gonna get my heater real quick. In terms of turning it off. It's getting hot in here. Be right back. Well, I'm still kind of heat. I just gotta turn that off. Open my door. Heel on the table, which is super comfortable and not at all super painful. Oh, that's stream playlist. That's not what I'm gonna turn on.
Said. The single delete wasn't an option in the past, so they must be hid them when they added that one.
Oh, okay, maybe that was it. Okay, cool. Coolio. So that's good. That's there now. That's super helpful. Way helpful. Oh man. Right. Okay. Good stuff. Let's go to good stuff now that we've dealt with the what not to do, I guess the nicest way to put it. Again, it seems like it all boils down to a lack of respect for the medium, for crowdfunding, for the collaborators, for the backers, for the money, for himself at the end of the day, right? Like, for his career, for what his future, for his dream. Jesus, I can't imagine that level of disrespect on so many different planes. Like, okay, we're moving. Let's move away from this. This is where we're moving to.
So my question about virgin covers.
Thank you, Scott. I'm so sorry. I remember you asking that. Not a variant cover fan, right? So that right there is kind of a thing. But the reason I'm not a variant cover fan is because I find the cover is the handshake with the customer. It's the eye contact and handshake with the customer. It's respect, right? So I try to approach that from respect. So we show something that's in the book. We show the art style in the book. We show the collaborators, and we try and put on a show on the first glance, right? Something nice, something clean.
Said. Let us talk about Cadence Lark on Kickstarter Kappa.
So anyway, that being said, say you strip the logo and you strip the trade dress off of it, but it's still a cover that communicates that information, then I'd have no problem about it, but then, like, there's not much of a reason for it. It might, like, from how I approach it, I personally am not that thing, but I've seen how useful virgin covers are. I see how useful variant covers are. Like, use whatever tool as a creator you wish to use, how you wish to use it. I'm totally fine with that. For my own artistic expressions, how I try to interact with the process and with, like, every level of it, particularly towards the customer, I don't hate a virgin cover as much as a variant cover, a pure variant cover, but that being said, like, it has no purpose to me. Like, I would just sell that as a blank print if the cover's that good. But if the cover's that good, likely the top part of it, where a logo would be, is empty, right? So it's...
Haven't done one yet, but thinking maybe on that thing I showed you yesterday.
Cool. Like, 100%. Like, I'm trusting your creative vision for that project. I have no problem with that. If you want to do variants, I have no problem with that, right? Like, my bit isn't... With this, and what I've realized, right, when I started IronVerse Comics, before it had a name, that is not feasible. That's what my experiences come out to, right? And so what seems feasible, what seems doable, what seems right even, is more respect towards a different set of individuals who wish to lend their energy towards this thing. And so with that, right, like, that, the ball's in your court. I'm happy to give advice, I'm happy to give thoughts, I'm happy to help anywhere I can, but in terms of, like, how you wish to present things, how you want to do certain things, as long as it doesn't break the cohesion of the entire thing we're doing, which most product level stuff isn't going to do, go for it. Have fun. Just make what you want and fucking go for it. Like, no input there for me. I don't need creative control on those levels.
Well, you know, I have very strict ideas on variants. Don't plan to stray from that.
Cool. Whatever works. Like, for instance, you know, people would like a Jackie Irons Illustrator Monk variant cover, I'm sure. But that's terribly dishonest, for my opinion, right? Like, it would be cool, it would be pretty. So, a print, it's a different story. For me, right? For me. But I can see other folks being able to do that just great. Like, it's not, you know, what I do for my creative vision doesn't overwrite the greater collective creative vision that I wish to help manifest, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's all. My only thing is that cohesion within the lore is, like, the only thing I would be like, can we work around this, right? But in terms of how you're presenting the project and all that,
I do like the print idea.
However you like it. Yeah, no, go for it. Like, there's a million different cool things you could do.
Said,
that's part of the fun.
I just heard you were going to make a Jackie Irons variant cover, and now I'm trying to figure out how to PayPal you $20 to reserve my copy.
See? I know there's a whole specific audience that goes to that. And I guess on my last stream, I found the term for how I think about that kind of marketing, and it's because of how my brain functions. It's not like a quality thing. Again, right? Like, I don't like using these boxes, man. It bugs the hell out of me. But anyway, pretty ladies, pretty men don't do the same thing for me that they do for many others, in particular comic fans. So me being a creative judge on that is not great. But I still have to go with the work that pleases me the most. And so I've tried to make...
Eliza Barr said, Badgerl pinup covers, bro, make that dough, just pretend your name is Brian Pulido and swim in the cash.
That's the bit, right? And that's the bit. 100% they do. And I've seen many very terrible comics that have very pretty ladies on the cover do just fine. One day I might make that concession. In fact, even for what I want to do after this arc, I might make a concession. But as of right now, I don't want to make those creative concessions to myself, right? Like, most, like, even... Not most, I can't even say that. I've seen manga creators handle it differently, depending on what they go. Like, I'll give the biggest contrast I've seen so far, which is incredible, and I love it. on character design. So this is we'll go through it. And now Peach is here. No, of course, that's why I put it here also, is because it would distract the shit out of me. Let me pull this up. We'll just, hopefully it'll come up from, oh really, it didn't register all that? Okay, images. Just pick up one. Pretty one in particular, if I can. Sure, that one's also got the straw hat, so it's got the emotional to it as well. Versus... And so... Oh, no, that's way better a way to present it. My God, okay. Give me a second, folks, because I actually have to do this differently. Yes! I had to show the chubby. It's adorable. I want to talk about character design. So we're going to talk about character design. This yeah, I guess I can point to reasons why it goes like that. And this is just a new realization for me too. So it's kind of fun to share. Because this is another series that I've been bugged to try for like ever. And not even bugged. Like it's just been in my awareness forever. And the character designs in itself were the main things. Like, I don't really see how I'm going to get hooked into this. Fucking A, was I wrong? That might be the one. Oh, but she's not even in it. Oh, shit. Okay, I forgot her name, too. Oh, what's the... let me put that, and that might do it. Sorry, this is suspenseful shit. This is gonna blow your mind. No, is she in here? Because I very specifically need that character to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. And the subtleties and how you use character design that I never really, until I started watching this literally this week, I never really understood. She's not on here even. Holy shit. Okay. Crazy. Where am I going to find that image then? I guess she probably doesn't stick around very long in the series is why. And I'm not that far into it. Makes sense. She actually might be out of it for a long time now. Where I'm at in the series. Oh, okay. Oh, I can't really show my point as well as I want to, but this it does it enough, I guess. So let me I'm going to show you two different creative examples on how to handle character design that are polar opposite but achieve a similar goal storytelling wise because of how they're approached. And it just blew my mind how the second approach I'm going to show does something very similar to the first approach, but not through the art. It's oh man, it blew my mind. So we'll start here. This is the Oda, to me, is the he's the perfect example of character design communicating character. Just straight up, just blam, communicating character. Like, you can look at these characters and you feel it out. Again, the sexiness, Anami was part of what got me on this tangent, but communicating character, right? Like, just right there on the page, instantly you look at him and you can get vibes, you can get feel, you understand that. And he does that better than any other comic creator I've come across, basically. From every character, the smallest to the largest and most involved characters, Oda is incredible at it. Contrast that, and this is what I learned recently, contrast that to Hunter x Hunter, where his character designs are so fucking simple and so clean that it allows his narrative, his writing, and his character interactions to put the character into these things even stronger. There's nothing in the way of them because of how clean these designs are. I didn't think that's how that worked. But this is how that worked. Like, I still don't like most of these character designs. Like, I don't. But after watching it, what the character designs allow narratively and allow for the character interactions is insane. I couldn't think like that as a creator. But I can recognize it. And holy hell. Like, there's not really a single character design I like in Hunter x Hunter, except for sometimes Killua. Sometimes. Like, his base design I kind of like, but it's still super fucking simple and clean. And almost all of the character is spoken or acted, right? Like, it's not visual. It's very subtle sometimes, but most of it isn't. And Gon himself is just like such a generic protagonist design-wise. Like, I just couldn't get on it. Then I watched it. And suddenly there was nothing to distract me visually from what he was trying to communicate as a storyteller. And that's when I recognized how powerful these character designs are, even if I really think they're nothing to them. And that was just like, it blew my mind. That's the thing I learned this fucking week starting this stuff, is just blam. Like, even his super complicated, like as far as complicated as it gets with like Hisoka, like, it's generic Joker design. It's nothing special. Like, it did nothing to it. It just communicates the idea very quickly, and then everything else about Hisoka is the action and the words. It's blam on that, and I just every character, but he still found ways to find fan service, right? Like, so far in this, there's only been one like overtly sexy lady, and that was the culinary hunter during the Hunter exam. So far, again, I haven't watched much. I'm through the Hunter exam arc, I'm through Kukuru Mountain, and I'm through Heaven's Tower. So I'm not that far. Right now, I think Gon and Killua are on Whale Island, and they're about to leave to go look for Jing. That's where I'm at. But holy hell, as an approach to creative storytelling, this was completely like out of the park in terms of design, without being, in my opinion, very good designs. Like, from a Western mindset where trying to make a character cool is like super important, to recognizing what this is accomplishing was just blam for me. Now, that might not be that much of a realization for a lot of people. A lot of people might be much smarter than me. But for me, like, that just broke down my fundamentals on how you should, what you can accomplish as a storyteller, and how important how you're telling the story on every level is compared to each individual factor, right? Like, a lot of the ways I want the character designs to be strong, I want the storytelling to be strong, I want this to be strong. And what he did is, instead, he's like, I want these to be simple so that this can be strong. And watching it work. So anyway, to bring that back around, right? Oda, he leaned more and more into fan service as it goes, right? She got skinnier, she got bigger tits. Same with Robin. Basically, every sexy lady they puts out, it got more and more blam as it went. Great. It works. It appeals to the young man, right? To me, again, it's just not how my brain works with attraction in particular. But for some folks, absolutely. I couldn't find the woman. Like, this is the closest sex appeal on here. And she's just cute. Alright, she's just cute. And you get a little thigh. That's literally it. But there is, again, the culinary examiner in the first arc, the Hunter exam arc, she came close, and she's got cut off shorts. She's wearing a bra with a see-through shirt, and she's pretty, and she's with a really big fat guy, so that was supposed to communicate some interesting dynamic between the two, right? And she's the fussy one about what she eats, and he's like happy with everything. Like that was it. And that's the closest to fan service that this wonderful mangaka has communicated so far to me as a viewer in this case. And he's super successful at it, right? But it still had a little bit. Whereas One Piece, it's been there since the beginning, and it's only grown. And it's a different approach, where he wants the character designs to be super striking and super communicative and just a big part of the storytelling. He wants it out of the way. Every time. He just wants it out of the way. 1, 2,
Eliza Barr
2,
said,
3,
4 women at a first glance, we need to adjust your glasses.
4. I do see 4, but not at a first glance, and like none of them are sex appeal, right? She was great. I liked her characterization in the Cooper arc. Like I liked that idea that he communicated with her. Haven't met these characters or this character, so I can't say much. But yeah, there's 4. As far as I'm aware, that's the only 4. Part of Hisoka's character and what he communicates in is super pedophile-y though, so I've been having a little bit of trouble with that. Like it's like I get what it's trying to communicate, but it leans so hard into the attraction bit that like it's off-putting, which is probably what he's going for. But super off-putting. But at least he's a bad guy. Give it that. But anyway, that's my little bit on that. It's one of the meditations that I've gotten out of my recent dive into Hunter X, or Hunter, I guess you just call it. I finally got into it. Dollar Coins, if you hear. The writing is superb. How he communicates ideas is superb. How he lines up all the storytelling is incredible. And basically the designs just get out of the way. And allow everything else to shine that much brighter. It's incredible. It's incredible so far.
I'm here.
Yeah, I was just talking about Hunter x Hunter. I finally started it, Dollar. So, yeah. After all this time, I've been able to start it, and it was the right time, and it has been incredible. It's just how he approaches it was completely, like, left field from how I was used to particularly visual storytelling being communicated in terms of, like, character design. I thought that was... anyway, so yeah. In terms of like variant covers and in terms of sex appeal, right? Like that's my example. So far, I haven't seen anything crazy with Hunter x Hunter. That might happen, but so far, like that hasn't been a consideration of his, and it's been incredible. For One Piece, it's a different story.
Don't watch the first Hunter x Hunter anime. It's really slow burn, but the 2011 HXH is great.
I don't know the difference. I'm watching whatever's free on YouTube. I don't care if the one I'm watching is... I feel like it's really slow burn, and I'm loving it. So, either way, I'm pleased with what I'm watching. I don't know which one I'm watching. I'm guessing an old one, but I don't know it. It is widescreen, so maybe it's the new one. I don't know. Whatever's free on YouTube. That's where I started it. It might be the 2011 one, because that's already 11 years ago, right? So that might be the one that's up on YouTube. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So with that, anyway, I don't have much in terms of mind for marketing sex appeal. But I'll show you the sexiest kind of lady that Maxi can draw. I don't know. Again, I don't know the difference. I haven't seen them. The one I'm watching has good colors. Like, they are vivid and saturated. They are pretty colors. So maybe that's the one I'm watching. Again, whichever one's up free on YouTube. But yeah. So anyway, to go on that tangent, right, is just... It's not part of how I want to tell stories, and it's also not really how Maxie can tell stories. He doesn't do pretty ladies. Like, I can't leverage that with my creative team right now. Whereas Dollar Coins and Mr. Buscolo. Okay. So that's probably it. Then if it's not, it doesn't look like it's from the 80s. So I'm probably watching the 2011 one. But yeah, so anyway, it's just not part of my creative storytelling. I saw recently that there's somebody else who it doesn't seem to be a major factor, and contrasting after reading One Piece, which is amazing characterizations from the character designs up, and then watching or reading One Piece and then watching Hunter x Hunter, where it's amazing characterizations from the character up, and there's nothing to get in the way of that, and so it's that much deeper, which is crazy to me. I didn't think, like, again, I don't didn't think that's how these things could work. Is awesome. It's more of a cartoonist approach to it, right? Where it's a real simple design like Charlie Brown, or a real simple design like in Garfield, right? It's more of a cartoonist approach to a shonen manga, which is really neat to me, compared to the more, you think of Guts and Berserk, where it's just hyper detailed, it looks fucking badass, everything looks strong, and all those designs communicate part of the, again, just how it was approached is different, and I will always respect that. Jeff Smith's Bone, for instance, the Bone cousins, it's about as simple of a character design as you can get, right? So it is approached, but I just hadn't seen it like that and pay off so well. I really liked Wano so far. I haven't finished it, of course, because it hasn't come out yet. I get a next month 101, volume 101 comes out in English, then I'll read it. Right now, as far as I am in One Piece, is Luffy is drowning in the water after getting knocked off the top of the castle or wherever they were by the big dragon guy, who I already forgot his name. That Four Emperor, right? Him and Big Mama. Whatever her name is too, I forgot. It's been a while, and I've consumed a lot of media since. But he was about to get picked up by Trafalgar's group's submarine to go fight again, right? Because he was literally talking through his mind again. His that Kaido, thank you. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I left off. I'm super excited to see him get up and go try and kick Kaido's ass again with Kaido's daughter. Because I like her characterization already, and I've barely seen anything of her. But again, that's just a different contrast, and with my work in particular, and also the artist I am working with, he doesn't do pretty ladies, so it's just that angle just does not work with my particular part of the work. But if you like sex appeal, you like the pretty ladies, you like that angle, Dollar Coins got you covered in Cactus Coyote. Very much so. He and Buscolo, or just he in his manga, have you covered with the pretty ladies. Me, like, no. I mean, even Maxie makes Jack fat, right? Like, he wants grounded, gritty, realistic, well-worn people. It's just how he draws, and it is incredibly important layer to how Jack works as a story. Pretty ladies wouldn't ruin it, but I don't think he can do it. And even then, like, I don't know how well it would work. I don't think it would ruin it, but I don't think it would improve it. And then putting like an Illustrator monk cover on a Jack book, and you're looking at this pretty line art, this smooth line art, and you open it, it don't work for me. Well, a lot of, yeah, but what Eliza Bar is making, and it's 100%. That's why I made the concessions, and because I like working with Illustrator Monk too. He's a consummate gentleman and a wonderful collaborator. Is comic fans though? They tend to be, like, I would say like 85% of comic fans like their bad girls. In particular, but also just their pretty ladies. Comic and manga fans in particular, any of the sequential art fans, right? So that's the bit, and there's a certain level where you got to serve that, right? And so that's, I've made some concessions, and there might be more down the road, but with my collaborative team, that, like, I don't even know how feasible that is. Like, I could ask Maxie to draw a really pretty lady, and I've seen what his people look like, and I've never seen one I would say um, is gorgeous. I would say all of them feel very human, very grounded, very lived in. Um, they all have experience, which is perfect for an apocalyptic setting because it's you could still do that like Fist of the North Star, right? Everybody's handsome and strong or pretty, right? Like it works, you can do it, but it depends on the kind of story you're telling. And for a power fantasy, which is what Fist of the North Star goes for, it's great to have the prettiest actors in your story, right? Whereas for what Jack's doing, it's very important to have them feel exceedingly human and natural and weighty and again lived in. And that's one of his gifts. But I think it came at the cost of doing pretty ladies, right? It's just not something that he does. Yeah, I can't think of a single time that I was like, oh, that's a pretty girl. No, they all feel lived in. So, yeah, there you go.
Sense for apocalyptic setting.
It does. It does. I agree, 100%. With Dollar Coins and Cactus Coyote, it's part of IronVerse. You're up into space.
Said. Because the boss's chief guys, villains, and higher ups always have pretty side girls as trophy girls.
Yeah, no, I get that. But again, it's again up in space, right? Like it works for what he's doing. It's a little bit different than Earth, which is scraping by. Again, it's the res compared to, in some cases, New York City or Las Vegas, right? Like it's a little bit different type of people.
Dollar Coins.
But yeah.
Said. No pretty girls make sense for apocalyptic settings.
I just agreed with you. You're too far behind, man. I'm gonna have to turn off speech chat. I'm kidding, but like, we're gonna go in circles, and I don't need to go in circles. So anyway, that was that. Talked about that. Let's get to other good things.
Scott K. said, in the IronVerse, all the pretty ladies are in space.
Not all of them, but like anything that Maxie draws, yeah, it's likely that like it's just not how he draws. No, go in circles.
Dollar Coins.
No, thank you. I hate circles. No, I don't hate circles, but I think they are often reductive. Anyway, I agreed with you. Like, for what he's doing, it makes sense. Like, I even explained why I think it makes sense, but it's a different type of storytelling. I don't want to go over there. I want to just go to my campaign, please. Or whatever you call this. Because I just want to show the update while I'm talking about it. So give me a second, folks. Move on to the next subject. There you go. Cool. Oh, the pretty ladies are in space. There you go. So, as you folks likely know, let's wait. Oh, in fact, you know what? I'm shutting you.
Said.
Don't talk for a minute.
The ONU regulators into new Deadwood or pretty girl ratio gonna rise?
Probably. I'm pausing this, which means when I turn it back on, it'll go through old messages. So, if you can just hold on while I talk for a second, then speak after I'm done, I'll turn it back on. Otherwise, I gotta leave it off for the rest of the stream, which would suck. So let's just try this. Love you folks. I do want to hear from you, and I do see your messages. It's just the timing won't work for this. As you folks know, ran this campaign when I was out of work. I was looking at two very big battles that terrified the hell out of me with the footing I found myself in when I did that. And so I ran this to help me make sure that I could pay the legal costs to get my house under me because of how things were left. What I recommend doing, especially if you're living with an older person who does wish to pass things on to you, a will won't even do it. Like, even when it was signed and all that fun stuff, like, it makes it slightly easier. But in these cases, like, just see if you can get a joint tenancy going, because then it's just clean. That's what my dad jumped through all these hoops legally when my mom passed to make sure all these things were done, and none of it mattered. It was just the fact that he and her had a joint tenancy that got him possession of the place, right? He didn't know that. Nobody along the process told him that. He just tried his best and did what he could, and that not all the effort was pointless, from what I heard speaking to this lawyer. And so, with me though, I finally got this done. The first meeting was about figuring out how to file all of these things and drawing up the proper bits and making sure that everything was handled correctly. There was a notice of survivorship that needed to be drawn up. There was a couple different things that needed to be done. That went through the courts, went through very clean. I got my the papers back that made me the personal representative, or whatever you'd call it. That allowed me to have control of the estate, divvy out everything, deal with all of that, right? It gave me the legal responsibility over what was left. Then recently I finally got the second meeting done with him on Monday, on Halloween. I was able to then use that documented personal representative information for him to draw up a new deed, which I then filed with the court on Monday. So legally, as far as I'm aware, I now own the house that I live under, which is an incredible gift I was allowed to have during this very difficult time. It was one of my most... It weighed, and still it weighs a little bit, but now the weight is so much different. It weighed incredibly on me since my dad's passing. It was literally one of the first things that hit, besides sorrow and grief, right, is worry. So this is done. The problem is, in my hurry and how happy I was, the last one, which I believe was right, was it this one? One of these should have a picture attached to it. That was the... Oh, there it is. So this is the original receipt back in August. I got a printed out one, and then I just scanned it and colored it out, right? I was told that I'd get an email with the receipt, and so I was like, oh, that's fine, I'll just deal with it with the email. I didn't get that email, so I've got to contact them again and get the email with the second receipt. It'll look exactly like this, except it'll say a different number, because it was only 25 minutes or something. He's a very gracious lawyer who only charges literally the time he takes, so it's 0.25 of an hour instead of a full hour, which many lawyers will charge the full hour whether you're in there a minute or 59 minutes, right? But I was very lucky there, so I still need to post that, because then that'll give you guys the idea of the final total cost of it. Because again, respect is how this stuff works. It's the number one key for any of this. Like, this is why that campaign just bothered the hell out of me. It's like, you have to have a complete lack of awareness of the concept of respect, and that project in particular, on so many levels. I understand that there are people like that, and I understand that, but man, it just hits me so hard. But nonetheless, that is off my shoulders exactly. Thank you so much, Moral Deaf God. Thank you. Thank you. So this is done. It is filed. I have the copy. Like, it should be okay, as far as I'm aware, as far as I was told. Now, I don't know these things, but it looked right. Everything felt right. It was filed, stamped, so if anything comes up. I won't know 100% until I get the next tax bill, or they contact me in one form or another, right? But that should do it, which is good, because we hit 2 years of his death at the end of January, and you have 3 years to deal with these things as the personal representative, right? You have 3 years to get appointed, and then you have a bit more time to deal with things. So getting this done when we did, incredible. I can now, instead of having that worry on me when the new cycle of grief comes in, which it's gonna happen beginning of this new year, right? It's just gonna happen. I can focus on that grief, and I can focus on continuing to move forward. Yeah, I cannot communicate how grateful I am for that gift. It was a fight I could not have kept up by myself at the time that I needed to deal with it. And here I am with it behind me, which is beautiful. At the same time, I ended up fighting both these battles at the same time. However, I did need to... I wasn't capable of fighting them both at the same time without this, right? I was able to find a new job. I kept myself together for the time that I was looking for one. And as far as I'm aware, I'm going to stick with this job as long as it'll have me. But I didn't have to worry about just finding the new job, then spending all of that, whatever that gig would have been at that time too, right? Because timing's the weirdest thing in my life. Like, things hit very specific points and they make sure I recognize it. And that's another big bit of respect is gratitude. Things came together very beautifully because I was willing to ask for help and because help was there. And a large part of why it was there is because of what the comic work has allowed me to do. And that, again, this cycle of gratitude, man, is in many aspects of my life. So I just want to share it. And thank you so very much, folks. I really appreciate it. I'm going to turn speech chat back on. You're going to hear no, I think, first from Dollar Coins, and then it'll catch up. Yeah.
Said. No. Immortal Death God. Said. Congrats.
Again, thank you.
Immortal Death God. Said. Glad I was able to contribute a little bit. Scott K. Said. Glad you have that off your shoulders.
Thank you. So, yeah, that's off the shoulders. I just have to get a hold of the receipt for you folks.
Said. No.
He's back! So anyway, that isn't completed until I can show you the receipt so everybody can kind of, know how much was spent and how much was raised. Of course, there was extra, thank goodness. I'm very blessed for that. But that is, that went to help me survive those couple months as well. Besides the Pet City gigs I was doing, I was I was scraping by. So I really appreciate it. But that will conclude that, and as soon as I get that receipt, I will close this fundraiser, and I will release a video on here that's just another thank you like I just did. Yeah, that's the big one. I was so grateful for that. It was incredible. On a more personal note,
Immortal Death God.
That was part of what I kind of outlined on the campaign, because I didn't want to have to refund it or anything like that, and I needed it. So I hope that's okay. I will bring that point up during the thank you video, and if anybody has something else to say, we'll go from there. You give it the respect it deserves, and figure out what needs to happen, right? But there's a good chance that everybody kind of understands that. But we'll see. But I do need to respect that possibility. But on a more personal note, again, so there's that level of it, right? There's the legal level of it where, the machine could have crushed me. But there's also the grief level and the energy that leaves in the place right here, like right here where I'm at, where I welcome you folks in to talk to me and do all that. This has been mine for a very long time. Probably most of my life. Not all of the things in here, but the space. So it's got a very different feeling than literally the rest of the space. And so I've been kind of nudging and trying to change that vibe. And over the last couple weeks, I've been able to literally, basically I claimed everything, moved it around, put it everywhere that I wanted it, and I made, I was doing it small bits by bits as I could, but there was, I think it was the week before last, where I literally tore everything out of their area and moved it, replaced it, whatever I wanted to do with it, and put it everywhere, and made the place feel more like mine, and it completely changed the vibe here, which has been, that's another level of just it's a breath. And so things are moving forward for me. There was a beautiful creative cycle of rebirth that happened this last month, in so many different levels. And I'm so grateful I have gotten this far with it, because there was a lot of very dumb decisions I could have been making this entire time that would not have allowed me to get this far, whether it's the work on Jack, which is the next thing we're going to show, or it's this stuff. It's the ground level stuff. It's finding the new job. It's finding a way to survive in the space, right? It's taking care of things as they degrade. It's dealing with many facets of grief, right? Like, I'm very, very blessed, and I'm very grateful. So yeah, that is done, but we will still have a bit more respect and gratitude to show on it. So I'm not calling it over, but it is done. So yeah, that's that, and let's jump on some fun stuff. Can't show everything I want to show. I don't really want to show. There's pieces of that. I can show that because I showed that publicly. Oh, and I can show that, but I think I showed that last stream, didn't I? I think I did. This might be the only thing I can show. Oh, I guess I can talk about that as well. So there's a couple things. But let's go straight to Jack, and then we'll go from there. Here. There's one piece I can show you right away, but I want to make sure that I. Oh, I need to move those into there. That's goofy. I haven't yet. Oh, I can't show that. I can show the smallest panel of it. That's funny. I think that's all I could really do. Okay, so let's move that into here, so it's just easy to show. And I'll try not to show spoilers, I guess, because it is slightly spoilery. Yeah, it's pretty slightly spoilery. But here's the other good news, at least on the creative front. I guess let's line that up like that, and I can show that. Okay. Can't show that. So wait, which ones can I show? Oh, that replaced the image. All right. Fine. Be that way. We'll show it this way. I thought it would open the image as a new tab. Instead, it opened it in the tab I had open. And now I have perfectly set up, so I don't want to undo that. Okay. But it's in here, right? Oh, it better be. Oh, I don't think it is. Okay, give me a second. This is all recoverable. It's just not good. It's just not smooth. That would be the word I use. It's just not smooth. But a lot of updates on Jack. Some good ones. Some I can show, some I can just talk about. There. I can show this page. Open image in new tab. Cody with braided hair. Let's go. Can't braid my own hair. Who do you think I am? A Viking? I don't have Norse blood. No, I don't know. I don't know how to braid. Let alone my own. I know doing your own is more difficult. Okay, so let's start with a panel from the latest creative page, which is actually page 26. Latest inked page. Let's go over here. Something chiller. That's pretty damn chill. I'm gonna roll with that. So this is a panel from the latest inked page, page 26, which means 7 more pages, including the cover. So that'd be 6 more story pages, and we are done with the line art with Jack. I will show you another page that is. Oh, well, there's one I didn't want to show, but that's how it goes. A WIP. So these are all proofs because Maxie, for the first time in our like 7-year history of working together, needed an advance to help pay for a U.S. visa. So he penciled all the pages. He started inking one a little bit, and then he finished one of them, and did that. And so, first time in 7 years, incredible collaborator. Nonetheless, I'm super excited for these pages. They came together great. The story's coming together great. I think it is the best creative effort from our team, bar none. I still have to do the lettering script for it, which is super intimidating, but it's doable. There's only really maybe 3 conversations, but 2 conversations in particular that I have to nail. And my original script doesn't nail them. It just puts out the idea I was thinking of, right? But it doesn't hit it correctly. So that's what's intimidating me. Most of it is be pretty smooth and quick. So yeah, we've got that moving along, which is great. These are other pages, but I don't want to. Basically, the main thing I didn't want to spoil is a character design, and I sort of did by showing this page. But folks can go back to the stream if you're that curious, and if you're that curious, you deserve to know, right? But yeah, it's coming together, almost done. We should be finished with line art, I believe, this month is what Maxie was thinking, which I wouldn't be surprised. There's a chance we finish with colors this month. Steve has the first 10 pages for colors, and he's thinking he'll have a good chunk of them done this week. I'm super excited to show those panels, those pages in particular, and I'm hoping this month I can also get Mrs. H to animate a couple of those images, in which case, oh boy, I'm excited to market it again, that it's moving forward and has some life in it, because it's been a little bit. There's been a lot of dead spots where it's been rough for like the whole creative team. They're doing something else or whatever, right? So I'm glad we're near the finish line on the production of the actual story and the book. And I'll get it put together. We should have a print copy. We should have the print PDF and the digital PDF ready by the end of this year at the latest. I'm hoping we're at the printers either December or January. And after being at the printers, hopefully it doesn't take more than a couple weeks. It's with us, and then we are shipping either on time if it's in December that they can print it, or a little off time, which is part of the deadline thing I was talking with Scott about earlier, if people have been here that long. So we will see. We will see. There's a lot of things that got to fall together, but it's about there. Howdy, El Crudo. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Eventually the robot will get you, I think.
El Crudo said, "What up?"
Almost done with Jack 4 line art. And if Steve finishes this batch of pages, we'll be a third of the done with the colors this month at least. Hopefully we can actually be done. We could maybe be done with the digital copy of the book this month, depending on how quick everybody can work. So that's really cool. I'm super excited for that. It's been a long time coming. I did updates on the GoFundMe campaign I ran to keep my house. It's worth going further back for that, but nonetheless, that's done, and I'm so grateful.
Said, "Time for your tuna sama."
I am hungry, but I'm not there yet. You enjoy it. That's what you were talking about. But yeah, line art is getting there, folks. Almost done. So there's gonna be either. Sometimes I need like accountability. Sometimes live streams are a tool for me for accountability, right? Whether it's drawing or things that I have a hard time focusing on, the live streams are great for me for that, because there's just, even if nobody's watching, there's this drive to perform because you're being recorded, right? So I might use that for the lettering scripts just to hang out with you folks, but I can't show it because it would spoil everything. So that would be the caveat. But it might not be a bad caveat. I can say, hey, guess what I'm writing? And if anybody guesses it, I just tell them they're lying. But yeah, so that's coming together. And then I did another stupid thing. I did a stupid thing on Halloween that opened. I did this thing on Halloween. Let me refresh it in case. Nope, nobody's looked at it. I did this thing on Halloween. It's the first project of sequential art that I have completely made myself, quote unquote. Simply because there's a tool available now that allows it, and how I wanted to approach it existed.
$coins. Said.
But yeah, I'll throw that in the chat.
I want a
folks
live
are
reaction
curious.
to all of our new art.
If you want to be unsettled and read just something weird and experimental and probably not that good, but that's part of the point of it, check out Ravings of a Lunatic Machine. If it keeps getting good views, I might do another one next year or when I have another good idea for Ravings. Yeah, check it out. It's actually gotten quite a few views, which has been nice from what I expected, right? And so, yeah, it was neat. First thing I released by myself on that level.
Said, you ever plan on trying to release a
that's not where I wanted to
again?
be. That's annoying. No. No. I wish I could. The prices are getting crazy on everything. I would like to do a trade paperback, but we'll see if even that's doable. I was thinking of doing a trade paperback once this is at the printers through crowdfunder, just to try a whole different ecosystem. But even then, because running a campaign is a crazy amount of effort. The nice thing about one of those reprint kind of campaigns would be like the only thing is the physical production, right? But still, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it.
Get on Global Comics.
I recommend it. I think it's worth your time. Setting up PDF downloads as well is nice. Simple, very clean.
Said, you ever plan on trying to release a hardcover again? Also, I was on a Discord chat last night and was suggesting modern comics to people, and another guy heard about you and we both talked about how great you are.
Oh, well, everybody always talks about how great I am. Just
7 inflation next year too high, we bid our time.
Yeah, we'll see.
$coins.
That's part of the bid.
Said, increase.
It's increased. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, again, I don't make those kind of predictions. I just wait for it to be close enough that I can actually make an accurate adaptation. Because, you try and dodge a boulder and you don't understand how it's gonna roll at you. You could be dodging into it. But nonetheless, that's part of it as well. Is I'm just gonna do my best to make sure that this one finishes, and then I'll figure it out from there. But I'm excited. We're almost there. And I'm glad people have heard of me. Like, I think a lot more people than I realize have heard about my work. I think a lot more people than I realize that have heard about it won't talk about it for various reasons. And the reason I know that is because there's a lot of people I'm mutuals with on Twitter that never talk about my work. And they are very aware because I interact with them all the time, and I boost them all the time, and so it's there's a lot of one-way love in what I do, but that's okay. The main point for me is to improve the ecosystem as a whole as best I can from the footing I have, and one of those things is that if they're not overtly hating me, then I support their work like 90% of the time, like 95% of the time. There's very few individuals that I'm like, oh, I will just not pay attention to anything you're doing. I will avoid you at all costs. There's very, very few. But yeah.
Said, we were literally talking about how you're probably the one of the best, if not the best indie comic out there.
I really appreciate that. I don't know if I'm that good. I definitely have rough patches to sort out.
Said,
appreciate that.
I just want to see you be successful and make your dreams come true.
So that's a catch-22. It would be great to be successful enough to even consider making more comics in a time. Like, that's where I'm at. I'm not even like trying to live off of comics personally. Like, I would just love to be able to make them more often. And that would require more consistent financial backing, and that just has not happened. It takes great effort from myself, and then an incredibly, almost miracle level effort from our fans to get our work done. And there's probably a lot of reasons for that, and there's many I do not know. But there's a few I do know, and I try to work on them, but I still haven't nailed them out. we'll see how issue 4 does, particularly in the storytelling. Again, I think it's our best creative effort period from everybody so far. I can't wait to see Steve's colors. Part of the fun of having collaborators that work professionally with many other well, not even many, with some very other talented teams, right, is that they get to practice on those works as well when they come back to yours, right? Like and I've noticed that, Maxie's line art in particular. I'm excited to see Steve's work because I've seen his work on By the Horns over those last bits when he started doing monthlies. I'm super excited. I think this will be stellar. I think it's actually going to be a really good jumping on point as well. And I will be, once it's ready to go more public, I will be marketing it as a jumping on point. But we'll see. We'll see what it does. Again, I'm really proud of this issue so far. I've still got to live up to that end on the final script. Try and be more subtle and more fun a little bit is my goal with what I had on the main script and what I have for the lettering script and what people are going to read. I want to fine tune it that way. But we'll see. Again, I'm glad people love our work. Like it literally would not exist without people enjoying it, and that's part of it. Anybody who wasn't here when I was looking out off into the sunset, like, respect from the top down is the only way, like, most magic happens. So, yeah, anyway, that's moving forward. I'm stoked. I'll keep people updated as it goes, as always. But it's getting there. It's coming ahead, and it could arrive sooner than even I think, depending on basically myself and 2 other collaborators. But we'll see. We'll see. We're almost done with the line art, though, which is just awesome. It's so good. Thank you, El Crudo. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward for you folks checking it out. So much so. Sitting on the script forever. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm excited. It's moving forward, and again, just like creative energy's back, which is, it's so fulfilling for me. And other weights are moving, right? It's a nice, again, it feels like a nice little cycle of renewal, which I needed when the fall came in, which is cool. It's really nice because usually spring is supposed to be about that, but not in this case, which is nice. Yeah, so that's that. I showed the Halloween thing, which was the other thing I was like, I could talk about. It was more successful than I thought it was going to be. I thought nobody was going to check it out. But so far, about 500 pages read, which is... Dollar Coins was the only beta reader who actually followed through and read the thing. And from what I thought the impressions would be on the writing, which the writing is supposed to match the insanity of the art, a lot more people got through it further than I thought they would. Like, a lot more people. Based on the Global Comics analytics, which is funny to me. But anyway, that's all I got today, folks. And we are literally at 2 hours. Oh, it's tough for me not to just sign off. You tried, Eliza Barr. You tried. I do actually know that song, Taru, but thank you. I'll boost it. Yeah. So. Things are moving along. I can't wait. Once I start seeing Steve's, like, once you see the final art of a book, it's a big thing for somebody like who can't do that. You just had it in your head as a script for a while. It's really nice to see like what the final collective effort is. It's part of the magic of this, all of this, and I use that term a lot because it covers a lot. But man, so stoked. Oh, cool. I hope you're having fun with it. A boss that I thought wasn't a final boss is a final boss. So maybe you've gotten to him already and don't know it. Like, I got to him once and then lost. I was like, okay, well, that's just like a break in the stage. And then I got to him again and beat him, and it's like credits. I was like, oh, wow. I almost beat the game once already. But I really enjoyed it. I like the atmosphere. I like the gameplay. I like the soundtrack. I love. It's all over my playlist here for the streams because it's super on theme, but it's like chill and just really quality. I really love the soundtrack of that game. I like the sound design overall. It's really good. Super iconic. But yeah, I think that does cover the stream. I mean, I can stay and answer anything. I don't really have much. Do need to. There's a couple household things I got to prepare, but I've got time for that. But yeah, folks, I think we're about there. We got further. All coins and I think I'm outside of the door for Melania, but I need probably either some very skilled help or to level up quite a bit. I think that's where I last left Elden Ring. I'm so close. I need to beat it this year. At least that would be great. But I don't know. I do not know. But man, I enjoy it. I enjoy it thoroughly, and I've seen that you've been posting your VODs up, which is pretty neat. Yeah, I don't have anything else directly to chat about. I got way more out of the Sunset than I thought I would. I just wanted to like look at it, then I wanted to read his statement, and then that was it. But okay, you know better. I have no idea. I have no idea what that door leads to then. But there's a door that we didn't cross that we worked hard to get to. Because there's a... Man, that was another time where I was just an ass because I did not want to persist. If there's one thing that game's teaching me is like just persist or like breathe. Like don't lean into the frustration. That's tough. That's very tough for a guy like me. Super emotional. So that's the bit. But yeah, it's been a very unique and very cool gaming experience. Oh, okay. Yeah, you again. I have no idea. But yeah, don't have any more like new release plans. The only thing that's gonna happen, like the next time I talk to you folks, I'd like to have actually like talk about some comics. Would be nice besides just my work or that crowdfunding campaign fiasco. Yeah, what I haven't. It hasn't been a reading cycle for me. I'll have reading cycles right now. Again, I'm binging Hunter x Hunter. I think I'm 40 episodes in, something like that. So there's a lot more to go as far as I'm aware. So yeah, I'll be checking that out. This one, no idea. There's a way I can figure, like, there's a lot of plugins for like that kind of stuff. What one streamer does is he puts a chat, a command in Twitch that you do like exclamation part playlist or whatever, and then it'll actually link you to the playlist on YouTube, and then you can find it. And he uses a lot of the same songs, so he knows their name. Me, it's like always random. This is from Mushishi, the anime. So I can't tell you what specific song. Like, it's almost the entire soundtrack, except for the actual like pop songs that they licensed, is this kind of music. So just look up Mushishi OST, and you'll find music like this. If it's the song before this, I don't even remember it. So I really can't tell you. But I like this stuff. It's super peaceful, like for drawing and stuff. Like it's perfect. And for talking over, it's really good too. Because it's there, but it's not like this is much more like engaging and takes your mind to it, right? It's very much more at the forefront, which is great for gaming when you're trying to build energy or whatever, but it's not good for chat. Like, this isn't that great either. I think this is Doom. Like, this is from West of Dead. It's great. It's also very calm. It can sit in the background, and it's thematic, right? So yeah. Sorry, I wish I could answer more clearly, Dollar Coins. I really wish I could. Yeah. So I need to do that. I'm just plotting like how much time I have, if I want to actually do something else on here or not. I don't have much more time. I think I will call it. I don't 100% want to, but I think it's the smart thing to do. Appreciate you folks. Again, if I haven't expressed gratitude like in general enough this stream, like thank you. I'm still trying to do one a week. I missed one week before last, and then with a 2-week gap. It's been happening again. I'll have spurts where I want to stream every day, and I'll have spurts where I don't want to stream at all. Like today was a fight to get here, but part of it, the off into the sunset was part of it. But I also wanted to update folks on the GoFundMe. That was the big one. And then I was like, oh, I have a couple other things to talk. Okay, and then I got here. But it's been more difficult with my work and just all these other things happening. But hopefully I can. The smartest thing I could do, which I have not been able to do for more than a couple months during any of my streaming career, is have scheduled streams. I think I did back when I started. I tried to hit every Friday, and I don't think it was at the same time. It was just like Friday I'll be streaming. The best thing I could do for my growth on any of this would be to solid time, solid place, right? Like, it's just out. So that would be nice if I can get that into gear. Even if it was just once a week, like knowing where I'd be and when I'd be would make a massive difference, I'm sure, in viewer retention and viewer numbers. But I can't commit to that yet. There you go. Kago no Naka. Alright. Well, that was the track. And it was from the second OST. There you go. Found it. But yeah, I'm surprised like most anime soundtracks are copyrighted. This one? Darn tootin' you did. And that's anybody else who's curious about that music. I think it's super peaceful and calm, and it's great to work to whatever you're doing, whether it's chatting or drawing or editing or whatever, right? Like, it's just chill. It's just chill and tranquil, right? Helps me focus. And I'm glad again that it doesn't get hit by the YouTube copyright overlord, AI, whatever you call that. But any of the other OST, like Lucy Rose, she's an incredible independent musician, and she did the opening to Mushishi. It's a beautiful song. It's called Shiver. I totally recommend it. But all of her music, of course, does get hit. So don't, like, if you're gonna stream with it, the OST stuff that actually has like strong music and not just like bells and all that, that's gonna get hit. It's a beautiful soundtrack nonetheless, like all of it, and I recommend checking out Lucy Rose. She is criminally underappreciated as a musician. She beautiful voice, amazing songwriting, very simple, direct, honest. I've enjoyed her music consistently. Has been like a boon, but I can't put it on stream, right? Like, but Mushishi I can, and yeah, totally recommend checking that out. Great music. My first song of hers is called Place. If people are interested, it's just a song about trying to build up. Well, just listen to it. You'll know what the song's about. It's the best I can recommend. Lucy Rose, Place. But she got a following basically off of doing Mushishi soundtrack. The title song, because it was so strong. Shiver's really good too if you just want to listen to what got her like notoriety. But yeah, that'll do it, folks. I really appreciate you. I wish I had more. The only thing I can do is pivot to like gaming or something, but I can't do that. I can't justify it when I have a couple other things on my plate. So if I finish those things on my plate and I feel like coming back, you'll see me later. Otherwise, it might be next week. I'm still trying. I've been pretty good about it to do one of these streams every week. Again, I missed one, I think, over the last many months. And some of them I did 2 weeks, so sometimes I did more than that. But I'm going to keep trying to do one. And I think it'll be Wednesdays, because I spent so much time the other days I have, like, off doing other things. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, I'd like to commit to a specific time. So you folks are like, oh, it's this time. I can go see, you know. But not there yet. I would like to work towards that, but we'll see. Anyway, take care. Adios, amigos. Be kind. Vaya con Dios in all you do. And later on. Bye.